Ladies and gentlemen, this is segment number 8. Okay, and if you think that I was shoveling shit at you double time and or shoveling shit against the tide in the previous segments, wait till you see what I have to say this time, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm going to read to you from the Bible, but not because of Christianity. Because Christianity, as you will read in my book, has nothing to do with God. The Pope, the Vatican, the entire concept of Christianity, it's a farce, ladies and gentlemen. It's only been imparted to you to keep those people in power. The Pope is just as much a non-Christian as the head of the Talmud way of life. If the Pope was religious and godlike in any manner whatsoever, he would have exposed the people that were molesting the children, your children of the world, globally, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago. This insanity and child molestation's been going on since the beginning of the Vatican and the Christian Church itself. The Council of Nice that formed the church in 325 AD. It's a conglomerate of people that are too lazy to go out and push a wheelbarrow around, so they put on robes to make it easy to molest children without underwear on. Because they're too lazy to go out and get real jobs, so they subject you into giving them money so that they can do nothing all day and proselytize God, when in fact if the Pope was any kind of a real Christian or an intermediary between God, that's a joke. It's really a joke. It's a play on words. It's not real. He's not an intermediary between God. He might be an intermediary between Satan in this world, because I believe Satan has a room in one of the chambers below the Vatican. But this is the reason why I wrote the book. This is the reason that I don't care what I say anymore, because I discovered inside the codex of the Bible and the pictographs on the $1 bill that what I am telling you is the truth. And having been dead twice, it doesn't matter to me anymore what I say. I am going to bring you this information. And now I'm going to read the Bible, as I started to say at the beginning of this segment. I'm going to read to you the first 17 verses of Genesis. And when I read to you these first 17 verses of Genesis, I am going to show you the pictographs on the GODPOD, on the $1 bill in the GODPOD, that represent the first 17 verses of the book of Genesis. I can do the same thing with the book of Revelations, with the evil seed of death, and do so in my book. But for that, you're going to have to click the link and push the buttons, because I'm not going to give you the ending. You're going to get the beginning, you're going to get parts of the middle, but you're not getting the ending. And the end is near. Our way of life, our civilization is about to come to an end. Not that it really matters, because there's no such thing as death. They know this. They know this. They know it. It doesn't matter what they do, good or evil. When they've reached a certain state of heightened awareness, you understand there is no good and evil. Therefore, this is what they hold over the people. The Catholic Church is supposed to represent God, but they know it doesn't matter in the end. This is what they believe. It might. There's no way of knowing until you die. And being dead twice, I can tell you that I really don't think it makes that much of a difference. To me, this is a game. And I'm just trying to get a little piece of the pie. That's all I want. A few 100 million. That's all. I'm not asking for much. But I'm going to move into the book of Genesis and the first 17 verses right now. And we're going to give you the GODPOD, ladies and gentlemen. The GODPOD, from Michael Fazio's perspective, is the left circle or compass located on the left-hand side of the reverse of the $1 bill. Well, you know where it is. Now, I'm going to read to you from the Bible the first several verses in this segment. Well, let me give you a brief description, and in the next segment I'll read to you. At the base of the Great Pyramid on this side, right here, looks like a shrub or a tree. And this is the fruit-bearing tree with the seed within itself. I give you this in its entirety inside the volume of my book because this tree looks like it's about halfway up the second layer of stones that create the base of the Great Pyramid. Now, the first layer of stones that appear on the base of the Great Pyramid are approximately 12 feet in height. And the second layer is a little bit less. But you'll notice that this tree over here is exactly this tree that appears on this corner of the base of the Great Pyramid is halfway up the second set of stones, which would make this tree approximately 16 to 18 feet in height. Now, the first tree that is mentioned in the Bible is a fig tree. And this sphere that I am discussing here represents the first 17 verses of the book of Genesis, so it would make sense that this is a fig tree. And the average height of a full-grown fig tree is 18 feet. So if this stone is 11 feet, and this stone is 12 feet in height, and this goes halfway up the second stone, it would put it at about 16 to 17 feet, which is the average height of a fig tree. Okay. In the book of Genesis, it also says, let there be, in the beginning there was a void. And the void is, if you could picture this compass or circle as an empty entity, this would be the void that the Lord God started out with. It also discusses the fact that there is a light, and the Lord God said, let there be light. This would be the void. I'm sorry, I didn't zoom out in time. This would be the void. And the Lord God also discusses the fact that there's going to be light in order to give the world energy for things to grow, which is Genesis, which is life. It all is a play on words. The life force that gives all life on this planet as we know it, or at least complex life as we know it, is the light of the sun. In this case, it is the glory of the Lord God's apex of the pyramid and his eye, which is actually a portal that comes from heaven. The portal is, if you could picture, this is the central portion of the $1 bill over here, where my hand is. The portal is the light coming from the background into the picture through the back of the eye and radiating in 360 degrees from the eye. If you notice, the light doesn't come down from heaven. The light is radiating 360 degrees as if the light came from the back of the eye and was radiating around the back of the eye. Now, this is pretty complex in and of itself, but this is what I have discovered, and this is why I wrote the book. Now, if the light is radiating, it's radiating in a 360 degree manner this way, but it's also radiating in a 360 degree manner this way. It is as if it was a ball of light. It's not connected to anything, because it's not connected to anything because it goes straight to heaven, and there is no connection between man and God of a physical nature. Man cannot touch God. Moses did not touch God. He didn't see God. He only saw a light. And at this point, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of segment number 8. And I'm going to move right into segment number 9 with the description of the first 17 verses of Genesis. And ladies and gentlemen, I need to get a bigger camera.